Welcome back to the show, beautiful. I am so excited you're here. This one, I think, is going to be a super short, sharp one. I felt intuitively called to bring this to you. It was playing very, very loudly in my mind. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to share this because, like all other episodes, I only bring you information, tools, techniques, learnings, teachings that I've either practiced and embodied myself or I have done it in the past. So I would never tell you to do something or teach you something that I'm not embodying it myself. And I'm really, really proud of that. I really feel like in this space where it is so noisy, it can be superficial. There can be a lot of fronts, particularly if you're, following coaches or listening to things on social media or watching YouTube. And, there is a front out there, but then a lot of people aren't coming from their authenticity. And I love that I can always drop into that. That's why I only ever bring you episodes when I'm ready to share them. So recently I had a beautiful, beautiful energy reading with the gorgeous Jess Patterson. I've got her coming up on the podcast really soon. We talk about all things stepping into your higher self, trusting your own intuition and leading and living the best possible life. It is full of so many aha moments. So make sure you check that one out when it goes live. And I had a reading with her recently and she helped me a lot. So at the time, this was a couple of weeks ago, I'm recording this on Friday, the 13th of February, as we're in the final days of this year of the snake. It is winding up and I can feel it. Like I really, really feel that energy. I'm not getting caught up in what everyone else is saying out there. I genuinely feel it within my bones, this shedding, this releasing. But as a Virgo manifesting generator 1-4, I'm very organized. I like to know where I'm going. I like to set clear goals. I like to be like, this is happening and this is how I'm going to get there and this is what I need to do. However, if you can relate to this, and maybe this is why you're watching or listening to this episode, maybe it piqued your interest because you're feeling it too. There have been no answers lately. There has been no clarity. There's been a lot of heaviness. A lot of questioning my life, a lot of questioning what I'm doing, a lot of questioning of the way that I live, my routines, my habits, the people around me, the energy that I, wish to embody as we go forward. And I can feel that. It is the final shedding. And Jess taught me this tool and it literally changed everything for me. I was walking around going, why aren't the answers here? Why am I feeling this way? I'm waking up heavy and, this cloud when I'm usually like bouncing out of bed. And I've lived this lifestyle long enough so that I continue to move my body. I continue to journal. I continue to meditate. I continue to eat well. I've got that down pat and that's what I teach you. However, the one thing that I couldn't shift was this heaviness feeling, this questioning, this, am I doing the right thing? Am I going down the right path? Like what is next for me? And it was really frustrating me that was not dropping in. During this reading, Jess brought me this tool and she said, what if it's all perfect? What if it's all perfect? The way you're feeling right now, the way you're questioning things. What if it is all perfect? And I have taken that question and I now ask myself this every single day. And I can tell you it instantly gets me out of the mindset of why am I feeling this way? Why is this happening to me? Into why is this perfect? How is this perfect that it's happening right now? And it could be really, really large things in my life. Or it also could be really, really tiny things. And I'm going to give you some examples as well, because we all love examples. We all like to put ourselves in the example of how to use this tool. So how is this perfect right now? So when she said that, I was like, oh my goodness, what if it's just perfect that I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling? What if it's perfect that I don't have the answers? What if it's perfect that I haven't yet got clear on what it is I need to do next? What if it's perfect that I'm shedding the final part of this energy, this life, the people, my environment for a reason? What if this is actually perfect right now? And I look back on this in a couple of months' time and go, holy moly, that was perfect. And that was unfolding exactly as it's meant to. Now, that's a very overarching example, but I'm going to give you some little ones as well. So just say something stressful has come up in your day. Just say your car breaks down, right? And you're like, oh my goodness, my car's broken down. Oh, far out. This is the last thing I need right now. Why is this happening? Ask yourself, how is this perfect right now? How is this perfect? Maybe this had to happen right now because it's a It was helping me avoid a car accident 5 minutes down the road. Maybe it's perfect because I get to stop and breathe and reset. How is this perfect? Because now I don't have to go to the meeting that I was actually heading to that I didn't want to go to, and it was actually stressing me out. Like, this is actually perfect right now, and it's fixable. It's perfect. It's fixable. You can fix your car. I found myself the other day going for a run with the dog, and just as I left the house, it started raining, and I was like, oh, it's raining just as I left the house. And I was like, no, how is this perfect? This is perfect because the rain is so cleansing on me right now. And this is exactly what I need. I'm going to continue to run because when I get home, I'm going to feel so energized and clear, and I'm resetting my energy. This is actually perfect. I actually left the house at the most perfect time. So thank you. This is so perfect. I find myself sometimes when Pippa, my daughter, is having a meltdown and I'm trying to do something and she needs my attention. How is this perfect right now? It's perfect because I get to show up as a mum. I get to be a mum right now. I get to nurture her. I get to reset her nervous system right now. Like, how perfect is that? There's so many people out there that would die to be a mum, that is trying to get pregnant, that is, would be visualizing this exact thing in their mind right now. How is that perfect? Maybe the thing that I was working on doesn't need to be happening right now. Maybe I need to be mothering and in that headspace, and she's teaching me presence. How is that perfect? I find myself in business when my leads aren't coming in fast enough. I'm not achieving the goals. I'm not reaching where I need to be. How is this perfect right now? Well, it's perfect because I'm learning and I'm growing, and it enables me to have time for other things in my life. It enables me to get super clear on the goals that I want. Maybe this isn't the direction I need to be going in. Maybe it's a different direction. Maybe something else is going to come up. So it's actually perfect right now that I'm not completely run off my feet doing something that's not serving me. Maybe this is the perfect redirection in my life to get clear and go on another path. If you're experiencing a rock bottom and you feel like, oh my goodness, maybe you're going through a relationship breakdown, a divorce, you're moving house, you've had financial strain, whatever it is, how is this perfect right now? This is perfect because you get to rebuild. You get to get clear on what it is next. You get to create your reality. You get to choose to create what is next. That's perfect. It is so perfect within itself. Sometimes I get hard on myself and think, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible mom. I am running late to the school drop off. Like, again, how did this happen? I think, well, how is this perfect right now? It's perfect because by the time I roll into school, people would have already done the drop-off and left the car park, and I would be rolling into a perfect car park right out the front of school. I get to spend more time with Pippa, and I also get to show her how not to spiral into stress. I get to show her how we breathe and we reset our nervous system, and we get to school with ease, and it's only a couple of minutes. Like, how is this perfect right now? Right now, I am showing up with wet hair. I'm actually recording this for YouTube as well. Or if you're watching on YouTube, I'm recording in Spotify. How is this perfect right now that I am not showing up perfectly? I was driving. I actually have to drive now to record my podcast at my partner's house because I've got computer issues. My computer wasn't working. The tech wasn't working. My internet was tapping out. And I felt myself getting really frustrated. And as I was driving here, I was like, oh, this is like an extra point now. I've got to drive 20 minutes to get to the setup to record this podcast. I've got wet hair. I really kind of want to dry hair. And then I rocked up in the driveway. It was pelting down with rain. And I thought, how is this perfect right now? I've got wet hair. It's not going to affect me when I run out into this rain. And done is better than perfect. I'm still showing up. I'm still showing my face. I'm still giving you my voice. I'm still imparting this wisdom that I know is going to help someone. If it's helping you right now, please let me know. I would love to hear it because the more I show up imperfectly, it's perfect for someone else. And I know that. How is this perfect right now? Also, I get to see my partner for lunch because I'm at his house recording this. And we wouldn't have usually seen each other today. So how is this perfect? It's perfect because it is imperfectly perfect. Like, all of it is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. And as Tony Robbins says, life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. And I know we've all heard that before, but if that just that little reminder that you need to hear today, it is all unfolding and happening for you, not happening to you. So always remind yourself that this is happening for me. Why is this happening for me? How is this actually perfect right now? How is this perfect? I love that Melissa Ambrosini, she shares this wisdom as well. She's a student of Kabbalah. And she was saying in one of her podcast episodes, and I think about it all the time, she says, pause, what a pleasure. When you're in those moments, in those stressful moments where everything's happening and you're like, oh my goodness, how is this happening? This always happens to me. Think, pause, what a pleasure. Pause, what a pleasure. Pause, what a pleasure that I get to be a mother right now. Pause, what a pleasure that I get to run my own business on my hours and I get to be driving in the middle of the day to come and record this amazing podcast for you. Pause, what a pleasure it is to have all of the abundance in my life. Yes, this has happened. Yes, the car's broken down. Yes, the financial strains happened. Yes, this big bill that came up that I was not expecting. Yes, it's happening, but what a pleasure. What a pleasure I'm alive. What a pleasure that I get to pay bills. What a pleasure that I get to make money. What a pleasure that I have a well-abled body that I can go and run out in the rain. What a pleasure. Because we create our reality with our thoughts. If we walk around and continue to say, what about me? Woe is me. This is happening. This always happens to me. Guess what happens? The universe sends you more of that because your words are spells. That's why they call it spelling. Your words are spells. They literally create your reality. So when you flip that script, and it will take a little bit, it will take mental, conscious reprogramming to flip the script on those words and those thoughts. You've just got to repeat. But when you do that, watch how your world changes and how you approach things. And even the biggest things that come up in your life, you're like, this is perfect. This is perfect. Pause, what a pleasure. Pause, what a pleasure. And this is so perfect right now. Like if you take anything, I always say every podcast episode you listen to, every book you read, every program you do, every coach that you hire, if you can just take one thing from that, what a miracle. How amazing is that? And if you take anything from this episode today, it is, how is this perfect? Or pause, what a pleasure, whatever you feel more called to go by. Because I tell you, if you start living by that, your life will change in the most dramatic ways. You will find less of the big things happening and you will find more abundance, more joy, more just amazing, magical life events. I tell you, I've experienced this. I've hit rock bottoms. I've had depression. I've been through binge eating, emotional eating. I've been through it all. I know that everything starts in our mind. Everything, even weight loss. Everything starts in our mind. My whole complete body and life shifted so easily when I started to do this work on my mind. And this is exactly what I teach now. I do want to give a caveat to this as well. There is such thing as toxic positivity. When I first started learning this, I used to ignore things that were going on in my life and not processing emotions. I would skip over them and go to the positive because I thought that that's what I needed to do. However, I have learned over the years to actually sit in the emotion first before we ask those questions. So there is a little in-between step. Sarah Davis talks about this on my previous podcast episode. She's a relationship coach. She talks about processing our emotions. It only takes 90 seconds to process an emotion. So if something comes up, you're allowed to feel frustrated. You're allowed to feel angry. You're allowed to feel disappointed. You're allowed to feel all your feels. That is completely normal. We actually have to process that emotion so then it flows out of our body. Otherwise, we store it and it comes out sideways. It comes out in relationship arguments. It comes out in snapping in our parenting. It comes out in our workplace. It comes out in so many different ways. We have to process our emotions first, let them go through, and then tap into that new thought. Then tap into the how is this perfect, pause, what a pleasure. So at 90 seconds. So if your car breaks down, you run outside, you see it's raining, you get frustrated, whatever it is, feel it. Okay, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. I wasn't expecting that today. Okay, I feel really sad about that. I feel really frustrated about that. Sit with it. Feel it in your body. Breathe through it. Release it. and then go into the reframe. Like, that is the caveat you have to do first. Otherwise, we are just going to be like, oh, what a pleasure. This is so perfect that this thing's just happened. I just received a $10,000 bill. This is perfect. There are times where we need to sit and allow ourselves to feel the emotion. That sucks. Wasn't expecting that. That really, really sucks. Process it, feel it, then reframe it. I really hope that has helped today. I'm really loving dropping into these more episodes with less notes and more riff. I'm dropping into more of that this year, more into trusting my own self and my intuition that whatever comes out when I put the microphone on, it is meant for you and it's going to land in your body and your mind, and it's going to be something that you're going to take into your life and to use it daily. I would love to hear how you found this episode. Jump over onto my Instagram at Hayley_Morcom or leave a comment on this episode and let me know your biggest takeaway. And for all the notes from today's episode, check the show notes under this episode description. And if you found today's episode helpful, please share it with a friend who might need to hear this. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And of course, leave an epic review. It truly helps me get this podcast out to as many amazing souls just like you. Until next time, keep glowing, growing, and remember, you are so worthy of feeling amazing in your body and mind.